Did you know your brain can lose up to 30% of its processing speed after 700 p.m.? That's not some random theory. It's a measurable shift seen in EEG scans and neurocognitive tests done on adults over 60. By evening, the brain simply doesn't operate at full throttle. And your eyes, they're not spared either. Retinal response slows, contrast sensitivity drops, and many seniors find themselves straining just to read the evening news. But here's the real question. What are you doing about it? For most people, the answer is nothing. They blame age or say, well, that's just how it is now. But that kind of thinking only locks you into decline. I've spent over 3 decades working with older adults, many sharp, capable, and full of life, who just needed a few small tools to get their evenings back. Not fancy supplements, not expensive treatments, sometimes just a change in what they sit before bed. Now, if this is your first time watching, welcome. I'm Dr. James Porter, and this is Senior Health Compass, your guide to staying sharp, focused, and independent at any age. If that matters to you, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Back to the issue this evening. Slow down mentally and visually isn't permanent. It's not even irreversible. It's a pattern. And patterns can be changed if you know what you're doing. When the sun goes down, your blood pressure naturally dips. Your core temperature drops. Your brain starts shifting from task mode to rest mode. But what if you could support that process, not fight it, but guide it in a way that actually helps your neurons recover and your eyes rehydrate overnight? That's exactly what we're exploring in this video. 3 simple natural tea add-ins that help improve nighttime brain function and support retinal clarity while you sleep. You've probably walked past them 100 times in your kitchen. But used right, they can change how your nights feel and how your mornings begin. Let's start with the first one. It's warm, spicy, and it doesn't just soothe the stomach. It boosts circulation in the brain and retina within minutes. Ginger. And you'll never see it the same way again after this. Ginger isn't just a kitchen spice. It's a circulatory powerhouse. And when used at night, it can spark something remarkable in the aging brain and eyes. Here's why. As we age, blood flow to the brain and retina gradually declines. Capillaries stiffen. Vessels narrow. Oxygen takes longer to reach neurons. And when oxygen delivery slows, so does everything else. Your focus, your reflexes, your visual sharpness. The brain becomes slower to retrieve memory. The eyes become slower to adjust in low light. But ginger has a unique ability to interrupt that decline. The active compound in ginger is called gingerol. It acts as a vasodilator, meaning it helps relax and widen blood vessels. But more than that, gingerol reduces the stickiness of platelets, allowing blood to flow more freely into fine microvascular networks, especially those in the brain and retina. In 2021, researchers from the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that daily consumption of ginger extract improved cerebral blood flow and short-term memory in older adults. Participants who consumed ginger over 8 weeks showed significant gains in reaction time, attention span, and visual processing speed, especially after sundown hours. Another study in the Neuroregeneration Research Journal in 2020 revealed that ginger enhanced mitochondrial energy production in aging neurons. This is vital because neurons require stable energy output to fire efficiently and communicate with each other, something that naturally declines with age. When this energy drops, so does mental clarity. But ginger doesn't stop at the brain. It also supports the retina, a part of the eye that demands constant oxygen and nutrients to function properly. The retina is rich in delicate blood vessels, and ginger helps protect them from oxidative stress. In 2022, a study published in Clinical Ophthalmology showed that participants who consumed ginger-infused drinks 3 times a week had lower levels of retinal inflammation markers and improved contrast sensitivity after 4 weeks. I recall one patient, 72 years old, who complained of mental fog and dry, blurry eyes in the evening. He wasn't interested in new medication, so we tried one simple change, a warm cup of ginger-infused tea after dinner 3 nights a week. Within 2 weeks, he told me, I'm reading again at night, and the words aren't dancing anymore. That's the kind of difference ginger can make. It doesn't force your system. It works with it, warming the blood, supporting circulation, and gently nudging your neurons and retina back into rhythm. Now, if you're wondering how to use it, the answer is simple. Slice 4 to 5 thin pieces of fresh ginger and steep them in hot water for 10 minutes. Drink it warm, ideally 60 to 90 minutes before bed. You can add a touch of honey if you like, but no sugar and no milk. The goal is to allow ginger's active compounds to circulate far. easily without interference. You can also prepare a larger batch in the morning, chill it, and gently reheat it in the evening if that's more convenient. The key is consistency. You're not looking for a spike of alertness. You're building a nightly ritual that trains your nervous system to flow, to calm, and to regenerate. When combined with the right sleep habits and environment, this simple act can be a turning point not just for your brain and vision, but for your confidence in the evening hours. And we're just getting started. The next ingredient works in the opposite way of ginger, where ginger stimulates. This one cools and clears. Let me show you why mint might be the most overlooked secret to nighttime clarity. If ginger is the warm spark that activates your circulation, then mint is the cool breeze that clears the mental clutter. And at night, that balance is exactly what your brain and eyes crave. Let's talk about how this works. The nervous system thrives on equilibrium. As evening arrives, your brain naturally shifts from a state of high alert into one of transition, letting go of external focus to prepare for rest and internal repair. But for many older adults, this transition doesn't happen smoothly. Instead, the mind becomes restless. Thoughts loop. Vision becomes strained under artificial light. You feel tired but not calm. Sleepy but not restored. That's where mint steps in, menthol. The active compound in mint acts as a mild neuromodulator, helping calm overactive nerve signaling without sedating the brain. In other words, it slows the racing thoughts without switching off your clarity. It works by gently stimulating GABAergic pathways, the same system involved in regulating anxiety, focus, and ocular tension. In 2021, a study published in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that inhaled menthol improved mental alertness and reduced subjective fatigue in older adults during evening cognitive tasks. Participants reported clearer thinking and better task accuracy after just 10 minutes of exposure. But mint doesn't just work through the nose. When consumed as a tea, peppermint and spearmint infusions interact with cholinergic systems in the brain, critical for short-term memory and attention. A randomized trial from Nutrients in 2020 showed that older adults who drank spearmint tea daily for 30 days demonstrated improved reaction times, word recall, and sustained focus in low-light testing conditions. The benefits extend beyond cognition. Mint also contains rosmarinic acid, a polyphenol with anti-inflammatory and vasorelaxing properties. This is important for the eyes, especially at night when the intraocular muscles contract and visual accommodation becomes more difficult. A 2022 study in Molecular Vision found that mint extract reduced oxidative damage to retinal cells exposed to prolonged blue light, suggesting that it may support visual endurance in evening hours. And perhaps most importantly, mint supports nighttime hydration. Many seniors experience a mild dehydration effect in the hours before bed. That doesn't just affect joints or digestion, it affects your tear film, the thin layer of fluid that keeps your eyes lubricated. Dry eyes at night are a common complaint among adults over 60. Mint tea, when served warm and unsweetened, promotes mild hydration and reduces ocular dryness without overloading the bladder like Dior. Ticks do, but the value of mint isn't only physical, it's rhythmic. It signals to your nervous system that it's safe to relax, that it's time to close the loops of thought, release the tension around the forehead and temples, and let the brain shift into its natural restorative cycle. 1 cup of mint tea doesn't knock you out, it resets you calmly, naturally, gently. To prepare it properly, steep a handful of fresh mint leaves or 1 teaspoon of dried peppermint in hot water for 7 to 10 minutes. Drink it slowly about an hour before bed. Avoid adding sugar, milk, or artificial flavorings that disrupt the gut-brain connection. This isn't just about sleep. It's about giving your brain and eyes a soft landing after a long day. And in a moment, I'll show you the third and final ingredient, something most people throw away without realizing it's packed with compounds that support night vision at the cellular level. Lemon zest. And you're going to see it in a whole new light. It's one of the most overlooked parts of the fruit. People slice the lemon, squeeze the juice, and toss the peel into the trash. But inside that thin yellow skin is a pharmacy of compounds that can fuel the brain, protect your eyes, and even slow the pace of cellular aging, especially overnight. Lemon zest isn't just fragrant. It's medicinal. And its effect on neurovisual performance deserves more attention than it gets. Let's start with the brain. Lemon peel contains high concentrations of glymanine, a citrus terpene with neuroprotective effects. This compound has been shown to stimulate BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a molecule critical for synaptic plasticity, memory retention, and nighttime brain repair. In a 2022 study published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity, the limonene significantly increased BDNF levels in older mice and improved learning scores in dark light maze trials. In human studies, lemon essential oil, which contains many of the same volatile oils found in the zest, has been associated with improved cognitive alertness and decreased mental fatigue when inhaled in evening hours. A controlled trial from phytotherapy research in 2021 found that subjects exposed to lemon aroma during Leda metal tests showed a 19% improvement in working memory accuracy and reported feeling more mentally refreshed. But what happens when you consume the peel, not just inhale its scent? That's where the retina comes in. Lemon zest is rich in nerine, a citrus flavonoid that has demonstrated strong antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity in ocular tissues. A 2020 article in Experimental Eye Research highlighted that naringin protected retinal ganglion cells from oxidative damage in models of age-related vision loss. These cells are essential for transmitting visual signals from the eye to the brain, and once damaged, they rarely regenerate. Lemon zest also contains quercetin, another bioactive flavonoid known to stabilize capillaries and reduce vascular permeability. This supports both brain and retinal microcirculation, a key factor in preventing vision fatigue and mental cloudiness during late hours. One of my patients, a 69-year-old retired teacher, used to complain that her vision would blur after dinner, even with new glasses. We added a pinch of fresh lemon zest to her mint tea each night for 2 weeks. Her words were simple. My eyes don't feel like they're giving up on me anymore. That's the power of a compound most people throw away. Beyond the flavonoids, lemon peel contains trace amounts of magnesium, potassium, and vitamin C, all of which play a role in neuromuscular coordination and ocular hydration. These minerals work quietly, but they set the stage for better overnight recovery by maintaining electrolyte balance and reducing inflammation. So, how do you use it? First, choose organic lemons whenever possible. Rinse thoroughly to remove surface residues. Then, use a zest tester or fine grater to remove the outer yellow layer. Only the white pith underneath is bitter and lacks the same benefits. Add about 1/4 teaspoon of zest to your tea after it's finished steeping. Stir gently. Cover and let it sit for 2 more minutes before drinking. The taste is light, the scent is sharp, but the effects, when used consistently, are long-lasting. You are not just flavoring your tea, you're restoring communication between your eyes and your brain. You're giving your nervous system the phytonutrients it needs to renew itself during sleep. And now that we've covered all 3 ingredients, ginger, mint, and lemon zest, it's time to bring it together. In the next part, I'll walk you through a simple, soothing nighttime ritual that combines everything we've learned into one powerful habit. No guesswork, no fancy steps, just 1 cup of tea that supports your clarity, your vision, and your energy for tomorrow. Now that you know what each of these ingredients can do, ginger to stimulate, mint to calm, and lemon zest to nourish, it's time to bring them together. This is not just a recipe, it's a ritual, a simple act that tells your nerve, our system, your eyes, and your mind, the day is over. It's time to rebuild. Here's how to do it. Start with fresh water. Bring it to a gentle boil, not a rolling boil, just enough to see small bubbles. This helps preserve the delicate oils in your herbs. In your favorite cup or small teapot, add 4 to 5 thin slices of fresh ginger. Let it steep for about 5 minutes to draw out the warming compounds. Next, add a small handful of fresh mint leaves or 1 teaspoon of dried mint. Let it continue steeping for another 3 to 4 minutes. You'll notice the aroma shift from warm to cool, from sharp to soothing. Once your tea is ready, stir in 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated lemon zest. Not lemon juice, not flavoring, just the bright yellow outer peel. Stir gently. Cover the cup and let it rest for 2 more minutes. This final step infuses the tea with flavonoids that support your retina and recharge your brain. No sugar, no milk, no caffeine. This tea is designed to support the natural rhythms of your body, not disrupt them. Drink it slowly. Sit down while you sip. Turn off overhead lights if you can. Give your mind and eyes permission to slow down without giving up clarity. If you're someone who often wakes up groggy or struggles to read or focus in the evening, start with this ritual just 3 nights a week. Not every health habit needs to be daily to be powerful. Consistency matters more than frequency. In most cases, People begin to notice subtle changes after the first week. Less eye dryness, less scrolling thoughts, a bit more focus during conversation, more visual comfort while reading. This isn't magic. It's not a hack. It's simply giving your biology what it recognizes, what it's quietly asking for. You've spent decades pushing through fatigue. You've earned the right to care for yourself in a way that feels gentle, nourishing, and real. And the best part, everything you need is probably already in your kitchen. In just a moment, we'll close with a few reflections on why this nightly ritual is about more than tea. It's about reclaiming your clarity one evening at a time. Most people never think to support their brain and eyes at night. They assume the damage is already done. That aging can't be helped. That once the lights get dim, so does everything else. Focus, memory, vision, drive. But the truth is your body is still listening. Your nervous system still responds even after 60, 70, even 80. The brain and retina retain the capacity to recover when given the right signals, the right conditions, and the right support. And often that support begins with something as small as a cup of tea. It's not just a drink. It's a decision. A way to say to yourself, I'm not giving up on this part of the day. Evenings don't have to be a blur. Night doesn't have to be a time of confusion or discomfort. With a little warmth, a little clarity, and a few natural ingredients, you can reclaim your rhythm on your terms. Ginger for flow, mint for calm, lemon zest for energy. Together, they create more than a formula. They create a feeling, a steady, quiet sense of awareness that carries you from the end of the day into deep rest and prepares you to wake with more clarity than you had the night before. So if you've watched this far, thank you. Thank you for giving your health this time and attention. It means something and your brain knows it. If this vid, EO, helped you in any way, please give it a like. Share it with someone who might need a little more clarity after sunset, and let us know in the comments. Do you already drink tea at night? What do you add to it? I read everyone. If you'd like more guidance like this, built especially for minds and eyes over 60, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more coming. Until then, sleep well, stay clear, and take good care of yourself. You're worth the ritual.